Hello, my name is Mrs. Zeke and this is English for 5th and 6th grade. Today we are going to analyze a section of text and see how it contributes to the information as a whole by analyzing a specific paragraph. What I'd like for you to do today is join me on the website history.com/Rosa Parks. You can also choose to Google Rosa Parks and click on the history.com link. Please take a minute to get there now. Let's take some time to think about who is Rosa Parks before diving into the website. You know her name, you know her story. But is there anything else that you could learn based off of this website? When I hear her name, I immediately think of her refusing to move her seat on the bus in 1955. During the time of segregation and when it was legal, blacks had to sit in a specifically designated section of the bus. Rosa was asked to move so a white man could take her place, and she refused to do so. She was arrested and placed in custody. I want to take a look at this article from History.com with you. We're going to focus on how it's broken down and pay special attention to the early life paragraph. We will then talk about how that single paragraph helps us understand her story as a whole. Let's begin. This article is broken into sections. Notice as you scroll through the breakdown, her early life, her roots of activism, when she was arrested, the bus boycott, life after the boycott, and then finally the citations. How is this breakdown helpful? When you're doing research, why would this article be a good one? You always check for the reputable website, which we have here at History.com. And then if you're looking for a specific piece of information about her, you don't necessarily want to read the whole bio. This breakdown helps us understand where we need to go in our readings. So first, we know from the title that this entire paper is about Rosa Parks. But when previewing the reading, you're able to see exactly what aspects of her life are going to be discussed. Let's say we want to know about her life before the arrest and before the bus boycott. What section of the test would you focus on? That's right, the early life. Let's read that section. I want you to be ready to share one new, interesting fact that you have learned about Rosa Parks after reading this. I'm going to read it out loud as you follow along. Remember, you're going to be ready to share out afterwards. Rosa Louise McCulley was born in Tuskegee, Alabama on February 4th, 1913. She moved with her parents, James and Leanna, to Pine Level, Alabama at the age of 2 to reside with her parents. Her brother, Sylvester, was born just a few years later in 1915, and shortly after that, her parents separated. Rosa's mother was a teacher, and the family valued education. Rosa moved to Montgomery, Alabama at the age of 11 and eventually attended high school there, a laboratory school at the Alabama State Teachers College for Negroes. She left at 16, early in the 11th grade, because she needed to care for her dying grandmother, and shortly thereafter, her chronically ill mother. In 1932, at the age of 19, she married Raymond Parks, a self-educated man 10 years her senior, who worked as a barber and was a longtime member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, commonly known as the NAACP. He supported Rosa in her efforts to earn her high school diploma, which she ultimately did the following year. Isn't it so helpful to know who Rosa Parks was before becoming the activist we commonly know her as? Now, share with your neighbor, family member, or friend what was one interesting fact you learned about Rosa Parks. For me, it was the story of her caring for her elderly mother and grandmother and postponing her education, but then marrying someone who supported her enough to get her back into the classroom to get her high school diploma. As you continue reading and researching, be sure to give the article a first glance like we did today. Notice the section breakdowns and how each paragraph or section contributes to the overall idea. Next week, we will take a look at a particular theme from this same article. That concludes our lesson for today. It has been my pleasure having you in class. I'm Mrs. Zeke, and I'll see you next week.